What's going on, YouTube? As you can see from the little panel over here on the right side of your screen, I've gotten rank 1, which for me is a really big deal. I have not gotten rank 1 on a Clash of Wills fight since Skye first came out, since the second month of Clash of Wills. So this is a big deal for me. So we're gonna take a moment here and revel in this victory for me. And I'm gonna show you the team that I used to do it. And as I do so, I'm gonna talk a little bit about some things that are useful for you to have if you're gonna try and do a clear of your own that ends up being rank 1, or even if you just want to try and push for like higher mods. Now, I know in previous months I've done like a series of like, I'll do this one with this many mods and then this one this many mods and just like get harder and harder until I get as far as I can. This one I have not had to do that. Like for whatever reason, like the setup that I was doing like was working really well when I first started working on it, and so I just went as high as I could with that team, which was let me see. The highest that I could get with the original team that I was running was this. It was 270. So like I couldn't get, higher than 270 because of EX levels, which is like always my thing. Like I always just don't have enough EX levels to get all the way. This time I can do it though. And here's what you want to bring to help you do that. So you obviously want to have as much fairy and dragon killer on in your team as you can. Water if you can, because the boss's biggest weakness is water. You want to bring a lot of sources of passive morale gain with this clear because there's no Cressnik. You want to bring as much active morale gain and use as much active morale gain as you can because, again, no Cressnik. And everybody on your team wants to have at least 50% evasion because we're doing the typical Clash of Wills Skye makes the boss miss you routine. So, as I've been working this out, here's a couple things you want to know. Every turn that you use a limit burst, and it doesn't matter how many you use, like you can use all 6 limit bursts if you want, and the boss will only change forms 1 time. But every turn that you use a limit burst, the boss will either give itself attack and magic or defense and spirit buffs. So this is important because you don't want to have it have defense and spirit buffs on your burst turn. Otherwise, your damage will suffer really, really dramatically. And then the other thing you want to keep in mind is that Cruel Fey, which is its like a thing where it seems like it hits random things. It does not hit random things. It will hit whichever party member has the highest of each stat. So depending on how you build your team, you might have more than one. You might have somebody get hit more than once, which sometimes is a big deal and sometimes is not. But you have to pay really close attention to how you gear your units and how you how high their stats are going to get after buffs and stuff are applied. Just very important to pay attention to. So that said, we'll take a quick look at the team, which does involve using all the mods, so 300%. And here's our team. So this probably will not look that surprising to a lot of folks for the most part. Chow, Reberta, Kaito, Skye are probably going to be in a lot of Clash of Wills teams going forward. But I do not have Esther for the reasons that I've discussed a million times. And I do have Fryevia, but I don't have Fryevia at high enough EX level to really take advantage of her and get a 16 out of 16. So where I do have though is Lara, who does respectable damage in Clash of Wills, and she's going to help us out by having an active morale gain, like a lot of turns. And then we're also going to be using Tiana. Now, I have not used Tiana for anything Clash of Wills related in several months, so it's exciting to pull her out and blow the dust off and utilize her because she's EX plus 3, and that was what pushed me over the limit. So this team might look a little similar to like Sinzar's no Cressnik clear, but it had Esther, but I don't have Esther, so it's like, what am I gonna do? I gotta figure out somebody else in there, and Tiana's gonna do it. Now Tiana actually does some really nice things for this fight, including but not limited to a couple of different like regen buffs and some morale gain, and the ability to absorb elements once a fight. So that's pretty cool. It's going to come in handy as we go. But we're going to use this team. So let's take a look at everybody. We'll start with Chow. And here we are. So Chow is built for countering, has some defense and some spirit, but obviously doesn't look like all that much, but it does the job. It just did it. There's a couple of turns where it seems a little close, but Chow's got all the good stuff that he needs there, and he's using that vision card. Brave Shift is, you know, pretty much exactly like Sinzar has it. I don't have all the same stuff Sinzar has, so there you go. But I've got a blue wave. When we even end up using it. Now I could, in fact, just give higher magic and it would be fine, but whatever. You know, I don't have to. I don't end up using lightning fast legend, so I could put something else there if I really wanted to. But we're not going to. Okay, but there's Chow. Chow does Chow things. Move on. Reberta. So Reberta here in the base form has, you know, really nice build. You know, she's got some killers. She's got all the relevant killers, right? So we've got fairy and dragon, very important. And she's got that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. And her special vision card. The shift form, she's got a pretty high spirit and evasion and all the stuff that she needs. There you go. Actually, worth noting, by the time Reberta is in her base form, I don't think she has it. Yeah, she doesn't have evasion in this form, but by the time she's in her base form, every turn it matters, Chow is omni covering, so it doesn't matter. Tiana is in the base form, going to be just using some stuff. She's got the Death Tarot, which helps her with Guts, which I found has been helpful a couple of times, as well as Midsummer Boater, lots of spirit, I mean, as much spirit as I could cram in there. There you go. Some stuff there. She's got Fryevia's vision card, just because it seems, you know, it gave her good stats in the shift form. So the shift form is where the damage comes in. So she's got, you know, she's got a high magic weapon. She's going to be benefiting from the imperils that Kaito can bring, so doesn't have to use her own throwing. So it ends up getting higher stats, and this is good. We've got some spirit killer. She's built the worst, honestly. So she's got, you know, some fairy, doesn't even have any dragon killer. She just does the damage, you know, from stacking up. She probably does the least amount of damage, but when I was doing this without the 300% mods on, I was hitting like 2.2, 2.4, 2.48. You know, I was getting really, really close and just needed a little bit of push, just a little bit of push. And so she does more than Cressnik was doing with Blue Wave. So there you go. There she is. Okay. Kaito in the base form, he's got, you know, he's got guts. I don't think he really needs it, but he's got just some good stuff here. Some good stuff here. Lots of, as much spirit as we can cram in there for when we need it. And then his own vision card. Base form, he's got the relevant killers, right? Dragon, fairy. He's got LB damage, but we don't really need it. I'm not doing LB damage in this run, so it really doesn't matter. So he's just set like this. There we go. Cool. Lara Croft, she's got a water weapon. She's doing the barrage thing, just like everybody else is doing. You know, somebody's barraging, she's me, my barrager. She also uses her base form limit burst because it boosts stats for one, and it also does some damage based on morale, which is whatever. And then this, the boost morale 300% or 300. I end up using it. So there it is. Shift form. I'm doing the bow thing. We've got the relevant killers. Sort of. We've got 300 and 200. So she's not like as well as we could, but I'm missing some gear that would maybe help. And there we are. Pretty cool. Okay. And she doesn't even have her maxed out stats. What do you know? She's got her own vision card. All right. And then finally Skye. So we're doing almost stat for stat here. So we've got, you know, passive gain, lots of good stuff. Tyva's spirit. And then Sephiroth's vision card, because I don't have Knights of Grandshield's vision card. The end result of that being that she's only got 5,400 attack. But she does have maxed out LB damage, thanks to Lion Armor, which we got recently, which is pretty cool. And she again has the relevant killers and LB damage. So that's pretty cool. And there we are. So that is the team. And we're going to go into it, and I have a chart because there's so many things to keep track of that I lose track. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up, and we're also going to do music. All right, so got my chart up here, and we're going to start off this fight. Lots of morale stuff happening, right? So the gauge just kind of drops. Cool. All right, we're going to start out with Tiana. Actually, no, we're going to start with Lara. Just get the barrage out of the way, right? Cool. All right, now we're going to do Tiana, and she is going to use Trouble Brewing, Watery Blue, Revitalizing Brew, and Rainbow Remedy. There we go. That's going to give some morale and give everybody unremovable buffs, which is pretty nice. Kaito is going to shift, and he's going to do Aqueous Infusion, Deep Submersion, and Crashing Wave. I mean, I like to wait for this until after the Mirage goes away, which is right now. I don't know if it matters, but I just like to do it. It feels better to me. Skye's going to get a stack of her Limit Burst, which is going to accuracy down the boss as well. And Reberta is also going to give us Morale Fill, Dragon Killer buff and mitigation, and Emissary of Demise. There we go. Boom, boom. Doing some damage. Chow is going to shift down to his base form, and he's going to use Kind Protector and True Guardian's Blessing and Focused Inspiration. I was using Loyal Hearts, but then I realized that Guardian's Blessing gives us mitigation that we need, and I want that, so there we go. And that made this turn very survivable for me. Let's see how we do. Morale gained up to 89 was the highest I've seen. Yeah, 89, so there we go. He told us to use a physical attack. We're definitely going to be using a physical attack, so we're not going to be dealing with the boss's annoying counter mechanic. As you probably know, if you're watching this video, you probably don't really have to worry about the counter mechanic as long as you have Chow in your team. So, whatever. Alright, the morale fill just starts happening. So, as of right now, you can see we used the Limit Burst last turn, and he got an attack and magic buff. It only lasts for one turn, quote unquote, but it will stay there on attack and magic until you use another Limit Burst. Well, we're using Limit Burst this turn, so Chow's going to LB for Omni Cover, Lara's going to LB for morale gain, Kaito is going to use Torrential Downpour, Torrential Force 1, and Deep Submersion, just to keep the breaks going. Breaks do help with, you know, gaining morale, so we're doing that. Reberta is going to downshift, and Reberta is going to roar and support, and Draconic Triune. That's going to remove imperils, so that's important. Tiana, as a stacking unit, is going to start stacking, because that's what she does. Lots of stacking. And we don't have Limit Burst yet for Skye, which is why Reberta being able to do Draconic Triune is going to be helpful if we don't pick it up from these other sources. So I'm going to use her last if I can to refill everybody. But let's go ahead and do Kaito and Tiana. Do a little bit of chaining. Doesn't really matter. Lara is going to fill morale. There we go. We did not get the LB, so Chow's going to go ahead and go. And then Reberta's going to go. And then Skye's going to go. Now what this means is Skye is not going to get the benefit of having her LB refilled by Reberta, but it's not going to matter because Chow is Chow. Okay. Everybody go make a sandwich. Because all those hits are getting countered here. Pulling for Chow was such a good choice. It could be done without Chow, but man, I'm telling you, like, this is just nutty. This is nutty. I get every turn I get my LBs filled up, and MP filled, and health, and morale gain. Like, it's just nutty. Now, we used a Limit Burst, and that put him in defense and spirit form. You can see the shield floating here. In fact, if I click on him, it's got defense and spirit form here. That is okay. That's going to go away here as soon as we use Limit Burst on turn 3. There we go. And this is going to be a big turn for Limit Burst again. So, so turn 3, we're going to use... I'm just going to reload just to queue up Tiana faster. Chow's going to LB, Lara's going to LB, Skye's going to LB, Reberta's going to LB, and Kaito is going to shift at LB. So we're using lots of LBs here, and actually end up doing a fair amount of damage when I've run this. But this is going to be okay because right now he's in defense and spirit form. This is going to put him in attack and magic form on turn 3, so that we can not do any LBs on turn 4 and then hit him really hard on turn 5. So, let's do this. And this one. There we go. And then I'm just going to send all these guys. Do a little bit of damage. Not as much as we could, because we're not infused with water. Didn't quite get to the one we really wanted there. It's okay. We're going to get it here in just a second. This is one of those turns where it's a little risky. Thank you, Chow. It's just a little risky because, you know, Chow could eat it there and it'd be over. The next time we have a risky turn, though, we're going to be protecting ourselves with Tiana. So, like I said, we want to burst on turn 5, and because we want to burst on turn 5, let's let all this finish. He is in attack and magic mode right now, and turn 5 is where we want to be, so we cannot use Limit Burst this turn if we want attack and magic mode to be on next turn, which is what we're going to do. So, on turn 4, Chow is going to cast Re-Raise on the front row, just to prepare for... I don't think I did that right. We're going to do that again. Just to prepare for the death threshold on turn 6. Or on turn 5. So Omni Cover's still in effect for the remainder of this turn. So we're okay. And Reberta is going to... Where are you? Oh, yes. Reberta is going to use a Rousing Roar to fill morale. Is going to use Mega Breath and Ignitos Domain. There we go. Morale fill. There we go. We are almost there. We're very, very close. Kaito is going to downshift and get ready for water damage on turn 5 with Pure Liquid Infusion, Swelling Current, and Receding Tide. Lara is going to use Keen Instincts just to use it, and then Hot Shot twice, just to hit the boss for some morale gain. Skye is going to downshift and use Tyvis's Spirit. And Tiana hits 5 times. So turn 4 is potentially a little risky. It all depends on when Chow jumps out in front, but usually we're okay. There we go. We hit the morale goal. Cruel Fae. There we go. We're fine. We fine. Okay. Chow's going to fill everybody back up, and all is going to be right with the world. So, I have done turn 5 with this build twice now, and I've done 2.6 billion damage on one turn, and then 2.8 billion damage on another run, which was my final run. So I don't know exactly how much we're going to do, but I've seen between 2.6 and 2.8 at this point. So to start, Chow is going to re-raise the back row. That way we are ready to go. What this means is he is not contributing to the damage on this turn, but he will contribute to the damage on the last turn. We're going to be doing Quad, Mega, and Mystic Breath. Not Mega Breath, Mystic Breath. We're going to be doing Quintuple Unstable Water. Kaito is going to be using... this is very important. So he's going to be using Weapon Imperils, Spirit Break and Water Imperil, and then no, not Torrential Downpour, Torrential Blade Storm, which is boosted up by his Torrential Force 1 or whatever it's called. Over several turns, it gets stronger. So that's good. That's going to be in place. And Lara is going to be doing Volatile. Now, the timing of this is to start with Reberta, and then have Kaito do the Imperils, Lara do the breaks, and Tiana start chaining. That way, all that's in place around the same time. And then Skye is going to cap. So it should... Oh, we got to use our buffs too. We use the attack and magic buff only. That way, the defense and spirit buff is in place for a later turn when we really need it, which is going to be turn 7. So, here goes. So we're going to do Reberta, everybody else, and then Skye. Reberta, everybody else, Skye. $2.4? No fair. I did 2.8 before. I call shenanigans on that one. I call shenanigans on that one. I'm going to pause the recording and come right back. Alrighty, so we're back on turn 5. Here we are. And we're going to go ahead and do everything like we did before. We're going to do re-raise on the back row with Chow. There we go. And we're going to do quad Mystic Breath. We're going to do 5 times water. We're going to do Deadly, Natural, Torrential, Volatile Ammo, and Limit Burst. We have now seen everywhere between 2.4 and 2.8 billion damage, with 2.6 a couple times and 2.7 a couple times. So let's see how we do. Just to show you where everybody's attack stats are. So Reberta's at 10,000 magic. So is Tiana. Kaito's at 9,600, 9,100 for Lara, and 8,000 for Skye. So let's take a look at the damage here. That looks pretty good. 2.7. Sweet. Let's see if we can't get to the end of this fight. That'd be nice. Oh my gosh. Start by doing attack and magic again. So Chow, we are doing kind, true, and focused again. Lara is going to barrage to get rid of the mirage stacks. Barrage for mirage. And do torrential downpour, crashing wave, and unpredictable tide, which gets rid of the boss's buffs, or decreases their duration to such a way that the buffs just disappear. See, they're gone. All right, Skye is going to stack back up because we got to get Skye back up on her feet. And Tiana is going to get us ready with Trouble Brewing, Iridescent Invention, which sometimes helps us recover health, Watery Blue, and Revitalizing Brew. Reberta is going to... Reberta. Dragon for attack and magic buffs for herself, Dragoon's Aim for Spear Imperil, and Emissary of Demise for modifier boosts. Also going to use Defense and Spirit buff. And that way, if Chow doesn't absorb health on this turn, we can at least have defensive spirit. There we go. We didn't absorb health, but at least we were tanky enough to survive. So. And we're back on our feet. By the power of Chow. Doing the Chow boogie. So much morale. Okay. We are now buffed up again. Turn 7, the boss has defense and spirit, so we want to use Limit Burst here to put the boss in magic and attack form. So it's going to do Chow. We're going to do Suppressing Fire for morale fill. We're going to do Dragon's Fury for LB damage boost. Kaito is going to go ahead and use Flux, Stream, and Force. That way all the weapon imperils and the water imperils and breaks and stuff like that are on there. Does the boss have other breaks in place? Yes, still has breaks. Okay, so we're fine here. And we will go ahead and do all that. And Skye is going to stack again. And Tiana is going to start stacking as well. Because we only have 2 turns to stack on the for the kill turn. So we gotta take every moment we can. So LB, LB. And we're gonna try and do a little damage here. It's not gonna do very much, but like. We did 3% damage. Not very much. She's not stacked up. Come on, jump in front. Yeah, get your mitigation up. There you go. Don't you die on me. Turn 7 is kind of a risky turn, but turn 8 is going to get a little safer. So, turn 8 has attack and magic, so we cannot use limit burst here because we want to burst on turn 9. So we're going to go ahead and buff our stats, defense and spirit. That way we can survive the onslaught of the boss being buffed. We will go ahead and boost our attack and magic to just have morale. And we're going to have to start doing some things here. Tiana is going to just do 5. 5 waters, please. Thank you. Skye is going to downshift and use her Magnus and decrease the boss's accuracy a little bit. Lara is going to use, nope, not that. Keen Instincts and Hot Shot twice. Kaito is going to put us back on the water team. So Liquid Infusion, Aqueous Infusion, and Cascading Slash. Chow is going to Kind, Loyal, and True for morale fill and mitigations and stuff like that. And Reberta is going to Support from the Skies to give us Mirage stacks. Mega Breath to be able to give us Quad Cast. And Draconic Tribune is just to fill up anybody's limit burst who needs it at this point. So everybody's full right now, but then that if we weren't, she could fill it back up for us. So let's do it. We do a little bit of damage just to push us to a little closer to the end so we don't have to hit quite so hard on the last turn, which is right now. That's Cruel Fae. We're in a much better place to survive it since we have all of our mitigations and all of our buffs and all of our everything. So we're in pretty good shape. So we made it this far. We just gotta Do the last 39% of the boss's health. And we're going to basically do it the same way as the burst turn, except for Chow is going to now help with some blue wave action. Thank you, Chow. Blue wave. Kaito is going to, instead of his imperils and stuff, which he's already done, he's just going to do Torrential Blade Storm 3 times. Which is not stacked up as much as it was last time, but it's still stacked up. Volatile Ammo. And quad, not Inferno Breath. You goober. Mystic Breath. How tired am I? And Unstable Water 5 times. There we go. And Skye Flurry. Use our attack and magic buff. I like to go ahead and just do the other ones too. HP and MP. Discerning Will. And here we are. So, the amount of damage you do here does not really matter as long as you kill the boss. So, here we go. Nine turns. 2.1 billion. Who cares? Because we already did our damage on turn 5. But let's take a look at the score. All good. All maxed out. Take a look at the damage. Who did the most? Which is, over several turns. But, Skye carried. And then everybody else did really well. Tiana, though, still did more than Cressnik does using blue wave. So, yeah, everybody contributed a little bit. And, Skye, Reberta, Lara, Kaito outdamaged Lara? Goodness sakes. Okay, whatever. So that's it. How do we do? Ooh, I kind of want that. I kind of want that lapis. There we go. I know it's only 150, but, every 150 counts. All right, and that's it. So that's a rank 1 clear. And hopefully with that, you can get a rank 1 clear as well. Obviously, you don't need to have Cressnik and don't need to have Esther, but maybe if you have some other stuff, you can get yourself a rank 1 clear as well. And with that, I hope you have a good night, and we'll see you in tomorrow's video, which is Tuesday Preppers. Take care.